Hey, what's up guys? John here. You see these pods in front of everybody's house here in Florida, where I am right now in Sarasota? Another major storm, another major crisis just unfolded.
Sarasota County left underwater after Tropical Storm Debbie made its way up the Gulf Coast earlier this week.
There's a real problem here. The county needs to step up and own it and resolve it and get this water out of here.
But it's not just here in Sarasota. Another similar situation happened about 2 weeks ago in Fort Myers.
Storm surge flooded roads on Fort Myers Beach today. Shops and restaurants saw the water rising at their doors.
We are trying to leave Fort Myers Beach, but as you can see, the roads are almost completely inundated with water over here.
This all comes after many are still obviously rebuilding from Hurricane Ian.
When you pay attention to what's happening inside of Florida's housing market, and you look at what America's biggest home builders are doing, you're going to learn a lot. In fact, it's quite shocking what these insurance companies are doing alongside these home builders. Insurance companies in Florida, regardless of your coverage, in this specific neighborhood, they are refusing to cover any of these problems. Refusing, no matter what your coverage is.
Insurance companies have closed a majority of claims, nearly 86%. Nearly 200,000 claims have been closed without payment. Translation, Floridians didn't get a cent.
And so some of these homeowners said, hey John, just to fix what was done here, between $200,000 and $275,000 out of pocket. And most of these homeowners, they don't have it. I mean, the average home price in this neighborhood was somewhere between $550,000 and $700,000. It's 50% of one's home's value was lost inside of this crisis.
We've been putting away $7,000 a year for 13 years. So that's over $100,000.
We're not spending this for anything else unless something happens to the house.
Giving away to them, and they'll just keep raising my rates no matter what.
But America's home builders, the Lennars of the world, these major corporations, and what they're building next to all of these disaster zones, it spells one thing, a major rug pull on sellers' home equity.
Neighboring communities like Artistry are high and dry, wondering why Laurel Meadows flooded this badly.
Because they're building these mega cities. Some of these communities are 5,000, 6,000 homes inside of a single community. You see that community right there? It's called the Seaflower. These investors just pooled money together to buy an 1,175-acre farm to build 4,000 houses. They're gonna have restaurants, shops, grocery stores, everything you could possibly imagine right here on site. And when you look around what's going on in the state of Florida, this is happening everywhere. In Tampa, in Sarasota, in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, all these neighborhoods, you start to see these developers hopping in and buying these properties, these major parcels to build 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 units at a time. The amount of construction unfolding right now in Florida, on top of this insurance crisis that's happening and this affordability crisis, it's really tipping everything in favor of the large investor. And this, I believe, is going to be a trend that's going to grow as we see insurance rates on properties skyrocket in the years to come.
Thousands across South Florida are being told they will need flood insurance.
Property insurance rates are probably going to continue to climb in Florida.
We already pay at least 3 times the national average in premiums to insure our homes.
It's cheaper to insure these properties. They offer rate buy downs. They offer all of these different incentives for home buyers that retail sellers simply can't match. All of these perks for home buyers. What does it mean for this person and this person and this person and all of these other people that now are going to be, many of these are going to be forced to sell? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you what's happening here, what these massive home builders are doing, and I'm going to show you some other sections of Florida as well that are getting completely obliterated right now, and nobody is talking about this, and I think it's going to forever change Florida's housing market. Please hit the like button, hit the like button, people share this content, educate more people about what's really going on in America's economy. I'm going to give you a tour of what Lennar, one of America's largest home builders, is doing right now, because they know where Americans are and they're building according to that. 80% of Americans cannot afford to go through a fast food drive-through. 40% of Americans are behind on bills. So if you were one of the biggest home builders, would you be building beautiful 3-bed, 2-bath houses, or would you go very small, a micro unit, something super cheap that people can afford? You'd probably go micro units, and that's exactly what Lennar is doing. So look at this property here. Look at this. So here's the kitchen. This is the kitchen. Here's the living room right behind me, right? Then upstairs, it's 1 bedroom, and that's it. It's a 1 bedroom. I mean, you might be able to get off with making it a tiny, tiny, tiny 2-bedroom, but that's essentially, that's the upstairs, right? This is the upstairs. There's the roof, they're already framing it. That's it. It looks to me like a 1-bedroom. Now, when you go through this community, which I'm going to show you right now, you'll realize exactly what this means for everyday homeowners that live nearby. Average home price in this neighborhood, 3-bed, 2-bath, is about $650,000 to $750,000. These new homes, Lennar is selling them starting at around $500,000. So when you have discounted insurance and everything is done, everything is brand new, and they're buying down your interest rate, so it's cheaper on a monthly schedule, which property would you buy if you were a homeowner, or you wanted to be a homeowner? You would buy the one that's cheaper every single month, and that's done. And so what does this mean when Florida has all these disasters and insurance is continuing to go up, whether it's flood or tornadoes or whatever it may be? It's going to mean a lot of equity is going to get ripped from these property owners that think that they're sitting on, you know, a property that's worth so much money. In reality, every time one of these communities pops up, the value goes down further and further and further. Supply and demand dictate and determine price. The average insurance policy in Florida in 2019 was $1,900 per year. Now, depending on the area, it's between $7,000 and $11,000 per year. Just the insurance policy alone is more than the average car payment in America. So you start to think about that. And that's where rates are now. You just imagine where rates are going to go in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years, right? They're going to continue to go up. And that's why America's largest home builders are building these small micro units. They know consumers are in very, very, very big trouble, and they're building accordingly. Look at this. This is Lennar, right? This is, read the sign. Lennar, and it's not just them. All of these major players, all these major home builders are doing the same exact thing. They're building small micro units, and they're also building very small 2 and 3 bedroom townhomes because they can manufacture them at a very low price point, at a price in which some people can afford. This is the future. Amazon taking over basically everything. This is Sky Ranch. This community here, over 1,000 acres. This used to be a ranch, and now it's 1,200 houses under construction, 360 townhomes. Entry-level price points are in the 300,000 range, going up to 700,000. But when you have all these mini cities and basically Amazon, all these major conglomerates are going to be servicing them all, I mean, America's walking into a major period of change. I'm going to show you this neighborhood and show you kind of what's happening in Florida that you won't get anywhere else. Major home builders have a whopping 20,000 single-family homes under construction inside of Sarasota, Florida, and the surrounding communities. Now, when you look at what is happening with all of these disasters, you hear that noise in the background? It's called a dry rite machine. These builders are trying to pull the moisture out of these properties from this flood that just unfolded. This big flood, I'm gonna go and show you this machine and show you what's going on here because it's unreal. Pay attention to what these big builders are doing because I believe it's gonna change everything about America's property values, especially in Florida, where insurance is a crisis for homeowners. For example, these builders, they're offering discounted insurance rates. You could save up to $1,000 per year buying new construction, and they're doing rate buy downs. So these properties are selling between $500,000 and $525,000. To buy a home in the community across the street, those pre-existing homes, you're looking somewhere around $700,000. With today's mortgage rates and those insurance rates, you're looking at $1,600 extra every single month. In an affordability crisis, who's going to win that game? What home seller? This one, offering the discount. And I believe these discounts have just started. I'm going to show you what I mean. Look at this. Look at this. It is absolutely crazy. So look at the machine. It's linked directly inside of this property. Now, when you look at the amount of homes being built in Florida's big cities, I mean, Miami's got 40,000 units right now under construction, just inside of Miami. You got 20,000 here under construction. Rents are already coming down. So in an affordability crisis, he or she who offers the lowest prices wins the game. But most homeowners have a ton of debt on their property and they don't have the flexibility to lower prices. Look at this, 24-hour emergency. right? Where's that going? Right inside that house. That's where that's going, right inside that house. As that home builder tries to pull that moisture out and paint over a problem and try to unload it to an unknowing buyer. So we're walking into something huge inside of the state of Florida, and I believe insurance is going to push so many homeowners to either A, opt out of insurance altogether, we have to own your property outright to self-insure it, or B, they're going to have to walk away, either selling it or foreclosure. But regardless, major problems coming for the Florida housing market. Developer Patrick Neal of Neal Communities is building 6,500 homes here across 2,700 acres. It's 4.2 miles to get from one side to the other. He's also putting 120,000 square feet of office space, and there's going to be everything you could possibly imagine here. But when you look at what these big developers are doing, it's really shocking, really. You think about it. If you go buy a normal everyday American home and you live in a suburb and you need a car to get to and from the grocery store and so forth, you need to move around, navigate. Well, when you live in one of these massive communities and they have the grocery stores, they have everything you possibly want, and they're going to have little shuttle buses and things like that, you don't need a car. You don't need car insurance, that car payment, gas, the car expenses. It might save you $1,200 a month all in, right? But when you live in one of these micro units or you live in one of these little cities here, because that's really what they are. I mean, when you're talking 4 miles, that's a city, right? You think about this. How does the everyday American homeowner that lives, where you need a car, how do they compete with this? This project is going to be a 15-year project. These developers are thinking so far ahead. It's really shocking. You would have never imagined a community like this 5 or 10 years ago. Now this is kind of normal. Drop 1,000 houses here, 5,000 houses here. It's absolutely wild. But you think about this. All of this farmland, you can see the cows in the background here. All of this farmland is gone. So you think about what that means for meat, what that means for food production. I mean, this is absolutely unreal. Look at Laurel Meadows here in Sarasota, Florida, to get an idea as to what's coming for insurance. This neighborhood was just hit by a storm, a major flood, just a couple weeks ago. And now look at what's happening. Every home is full of these pods and these units. Every homeowner is suffering massive losses. Most of these homeowners have no flood insurance. It's not next to water, it's not next to the ocean. Look at this. Look at all of this money lost. Imagine what this will do to homeowners' property values, what this means for equity that was just stripped from these homes. Because all of this moisture that happened to the structure, all the mold, all of everything needs to essentially get ripped out. Everything has to get redone entirely. I mean, look at this. This is just one street, but the entire street is like this, the entire neighborhood. Watch, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna show you. All of the workers, everyone's out front, everyone's trying to help, everyone's trying to find a solution. But you think, what is this gonna mean for these homeowners with no insurance that really just don't have the money, right? A lot of people are in a lot of trouble here. There's no place like Florida. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's done a lot of good for a lot of people the last several years inside of all the craziness. It's brought a lot of great businesses and a lot of great entrepreneurs and a lot of great people to the state. But there's no denying the amount of issues that are coming for property owners and new residents of Florida. The amount of new construction is absolutely unbelievable. The amount of insurance increases is absolutely shocking. But if you have the cash, it's an incredible spot to be the next couple of years. I believe cash is going to be king, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity to seize beautiful properties over the next couple of years if you are an investor. Because who would have really thought and taken into consideration 400-500% increases on property insurance, the changing economy? Who would have considered any of these things? Nobody would have thought that this is possible. But those that are positioned to move forward and take advantage of this wealth building opportunity are going to capitalize. I mean, look at how stunning this is. Look at this, right? It's not just Sarasota, it's Tampa, it's Miami. All these beautiful beachfront locations are going to be on sale because homeowners aren't going to be able to withstand the heat that's going to be coming to them through their insurance premiums, their tax increases, and their changing job environment. A lot is happening in Florida, but if you are an investor, you're somebody that is well positioned, I believe 2025, 2026 will present a massive opportunity for you inside of this beautiful, beautiful state. Consider subscribing today, and if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for funding to invest, maybe in Florida, we'd love to help you. If you have any issues at all in your credit report, late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any derogatory items, go to greatcreditfast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free call for tomorrow, and check out reviews on Trustpilot. Catch you next video.